Good evening and welcome to NTD News. I'm Stephanie Cox. Here are today's top stories. Vice President Pence stopped by at the Turning Point USA conference in Florida. He spoke about encouraging future generations to stand for freedom. And Georgia Senator Ligon is again asking senators to take a stand against election fraud. He released a summary of the Senate oversight hearing saying that time is critical. A new report shows security breaches almost doubled in Washington state this year. The Evergreen state also lost hundreds of millions of dollars due to cyber attacks. Zoom gives U.S. user data to the Chinese regime, and law enforcement prosecutes Zoom executive for the crime. Vice President Mike Pence went to Turning Point USA in person to speak with the young political activists there. He said he came to say thank you, but also to issue a challenge.
The vice president touched down in West Palm Beach, Florida, where he later went on stage to speak at Turning Point USA. During his speech, the vice president said they're going to keep on fighting in the election. He said when the runoff elections come around, they'll make sure to re-elect Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue to keep a Republican majority in the Senate.
And as our election contest continues, I'll make you a promise. We're going to keep fighting until every legal vote is counted. We're going to keep fighting until every illegal vote is thrown out.
The vice president went down the line on several of the Trump administration's achievements, including boosting the economy and the most recent, distributing a vaccine in record time. Pence also said the administration went to federal court to defend free speech on college campuses. He urged the young listeners to keep up the good work.
Stay in the fight for election integrity. Stay in the fight to defend all we've done. And stay in the fight from this Student Action Summit and every day forward to keep America great.
The Turning Point USA conference was organized by conservative activist Charlie Kirk and was attended by around 4,000 students between the ages of 15 and 25. The event aimed to provide training in activism, leadership, and networking. Don Tran, NTD News.
And Kirk spoke with NTD about his view on potential election outcomes. NTD's Juliet Song has more details.
Charlie Kirk, founder of a conservative student group, says he's not giving up on President Trump.
I believe that there are still measures that can be taken where the president can serve another term. It is not a strong possibility at the moment, just based on the lack of a Republican Party that exists in the country right now.
Kirk leads Turning Point USA, one of the nation's largest conservative youth groups. He adds that he's optimistic outside of politics.
No matter what happens, I'm going to keep fighting. And for that, I'm going to remain positive.
He thinks the Republican Party is changing for the better.
The question is, will the Republican Party remain to be the party of the Chamber of Commerce, the open borders, the pro-China, the pandering to corporate interest party?
He questions, will the Republican Party decide to be a party that continues the MAGA doctrine?
Which is a doctrine of America first, which is a doctrine that puts our citizens ahead of, people halfway across the world. And no matter how many Republican senators think they're in control, they're not. They answer to us.
He says the battle for the Republican Party is on.
There's a lot of people that are going to want to erase all memory of Donald Trump. That's never going to happen. In fact, I think we should do the opposite. We should say, how is it that a guy with no political experience got 74 million votes and all of you losers have never been able to build coalitions like this? Why did he do so well with Hispanics in the Rio Grande Valley? Why is it that people would wait hours and hours to go into a rally for him? Well, maybe because he actually did something in his life and delivered and said he did what he said he was going to do.
On another front, Kirk adds he hopes the Department of Justice gets serious about Chinese regime's infiltration in the United States.
If they started all of a sudden throwing indictments and showing how serious we are about foreign infiltration, a lot of it would stop because the Chinese Communist Party, they're a bunch of cowards, and they're also evil, and we should be unafraid to call them that.
He has called for a complete suspension of trade with China.
They launched an epidemiological Pearl Harbor against us. They send spies to sleep with our Congress people, allegedly. We've heard no different, so I'm going to say that probably happened. What they've done in the South China Sea, Belt and Road Initiative, Silk Road, cyber hacking, 1 million Muslims in concentration camps.
He says the list goes on.
Instead, I'll say that they are our enemy. They're not an adversary. They're not like this nicely. They're an enemy.
He adds China is more powerful than the Soviet Union ever was, and it's time that people start taking them seriously. Reporting by Juliet Song, NTD News.